Hello, and welcome to the May monthly happy hour for Cheese Grotto. We have Mother's Day coming up on Sunday, and hopefully, if you did receive your box in our gift subscription schedule, you're receiving it just in time to celebrate over the weekend and um, focus on more bright spring flavors that you can use for pairings for whatever Mother's Day gathering you have. But regardless, you can enjoy this box at any time in May. And we have it's really just like a nice theme for, more kind of like a variety of like fresh flavors. Wonderful seasonal sheep milk cheese from Blakesville Creamery that is super fresh, but also sophisticated because it is wrapped in grape leaves that have been steeped in uh, white wine. We have the Dutch Tulip, which is from Tulip Tree Creamery, which is a really nice, like semi-firm, like young Gouda style. And then we have the finale in the flight. But the thing we'll be talking about first today is the Toma Provence from Point Reyes Farmstead Cheese, because we have in our midst Aaron Clancy from Point Reyes Farmstead Cheese.
Hi everyone.
And thank you so much for spending some time with us on a Friday to talk about the Tomo Provence, which is just such a lovely fusion of like savory herb flavors, which are great for like a lot of spring dishes as well. So yeah, I'd love to. We can maybe carry like showcase that cheese if you have it in the cheese grotto. Um, and yeah, and talk a little bit about Point Reyes Farmstead Cheese. Obviously, they are a favorite of ours. We have featured you guys as part of our Meet the Makers quarterly subscription program as well. Such a great mission towards sustainability, as well as like just being one of the OG like pioneers of really amazing specialty artisan cheeses in the United States. Um, so yeah, if you want to give just a little bit of a background, that would be great. And about the farm and the cheese making operation, and then a little bit about this take on your Toma, which is a really lovely table cheese that you all make.
Yes. I'll start at the beginning, I guess. Um the Giacomini family, they are the owners of Point Reyes Farmstead Cheese. Their great grandfather actually came from northern Italy, from the Piedmont region to the United States at kind of the turn of the century. He actually came here and settled in the area where we are in California because the weather and the land is very similar to northern Italy. So he's like, if I can farm there, I can farm here. And he actually started chicken farming. Um, and it was his son that decided to get into dairy farming because he just wanted to get into dairy farming. So he started a dairy farm. It was actually for anyone who's familiar with Point Reyes, our current farm is on Highway 1, which is that Pacific Coast Highway. But originally, the original farm was in for lack of a better term, like the downtown of the town. Downtown being a very bold word, there's a stoplight. Or no, I'm sorry, there's a stop sign in town. The only light is the fire station light. So not this huge metropolis, right? But he had started dairy farming there. And then it was in the 50s, they actually gave that land, it was wetlands, back to the national or to the state parks, and they moved to our location now. Um, so it was in 1959, we moved off the Pacific Coast Highway. Um, uh, at that point, his son Bob and Bob's wife Dean again took over the farm, and they were dairy farming. So they were selling fluid milk. They were selling it with other local creameries. For any of you who are in California, have ever been, you might know like the Strauss name or something like that. They were selling that, and Bob was just sitting there, and he was like, our milk is so good. And I wish we could do something else with it. So he said, "What about cheese?" And three of his four daughters at the time were like, "Sure, we'll come give it a whirl." And they moved back home. They had all had different jobs and were living different places, and moved back to Point Reyes. And they were like, "Let's do this." So our first cheese was actually the original blue. That's the one that we're kind of most known for, and that's the one that you can get in most retailers nationwide. They decided on blue because A, Bob loved it and the sisters loved it. But B, they were calling different restaurants and they were like, "What cheese do you really want that you can't get?" And at that point, there was really only Maytag. But it wasn't always making it all the way out west because there was a limited supply. So they were like, "Man, we love this cheese called Maytag, but we can't get it all the time. We want this like peppery, piquant American style blue." And my boss, Lynn, who is one of the sisters, she is the most like can-do attitude I've ever seen in my life. She was like, "Oh, making blue cheese, that should be totally easy." And she decided, so they tried, and it was a little harder. So, luckily, for anyone in the cheese industry, cheese people are kind of the best people. And so they called around and got some help from Maytag. At that point, there was also the Caves of Faribault. And Lynn took a short course at UC Davis on how to make cheese. So it was in 2000 that they made their first wheel of cheese. So last year we were 25, this year we are 26. And it's just kind of grown from there. For anyone who didn't meet the maker series, Cuba is our cheesemaker. I always say there's pre-Cuba and post-Cuba. Pre-Cuba is original blue, post-Cuba is every other cheese that we make. So Cuba came in 2009. His first cheese that he made was the Toma. So turns out, as much as the sisters love blue and Bob loved blue, Dean did not like blue cheese. So she was like, "Can you please make me something that I will enjoy because everyone else gets to enjoy the milk and the fruits of our labor, but I can't." So he decided to make Toma. So Toma is an Italian style table cheese reminiscent of something that would have been on the table in the Piedmont region. Oddly, it was kind of funny. A few months ago, I was in Minneapolis and I walked into my local cheese shop and one of my friends was tasting out an actual Piedmontese Toma. She was like, "You're the perfect person to walk in right now. Let's taste it." And ours is pretty spot on. It is really nice and bright and lactic with a little bit of just like sweetness from the milk, right? And that's all it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this delicious table cheese that you can eat any time of day, that you can snack on, that you can cook with at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's what we made. It's made similar to a Gouda. So what that means is the curds are actually washed a couple times to get rid of that lactic acid, and that's why the toma stays sweet. So it's going to stay sweet as opposed to getting kind of funky as it ages. It was in the late, or I think it was in like 2018 or 17. The sisters started being asked, "Are you going to do flavors? Are you going to do flavors?" And they were like, "Absolutely not. We're purists." And then by the next year, they were like, "Wait a minute, flavored cheese is actually really great if you do it the way that we want to, right?" So the first flavored cheese we did was the truffle. They had actually visited the truffle farm in Umbria the year before. So they decided to go with that. And then the next was this herbes de Provence. So the herbes de Provence is one of my absolute favorites. I love all of our flavored cheeses because you can still taste the toma, but you get the full flavor of that additive, or that like added ingredient. But this is my favorite time of the year for the herbes de Provence because it's just like reminds me of spring, fresh. For Mother's Day, I usually make my mom a frittata, and this is my frittata cheese. So like this is the perfect one. It's also not to be like lazy in the kitchen, but I love that you don't have to like go to the store, buy, wash, and chop all these different herbs up to get the flavor in it. This way you're just using the cheese and getting the herbs, but it's just so nice and herbaceous and it just kind of lingers with you. Besides frittatas, I know we're kind of getting out of soup season, but if you ever broil this over a French onion soup instead of like a comté, it's really great because the herbs are similar to the stock herbs. This is definitely something I throw on any potato. Toma Provence and a potato are best friends. Um, if you're having a happy hour drink, for those who like a more buttery Chardonnay, this is great with that. It highlights the creaminess and butteriness of the cheese. For those who don't, it's not my favorite. I do love like a Sancerre. If you are more of a beer drinker, try it with like a Saison or something like that, or a Hefeweizen. But anything really nice, bright and kind of fruity. But this cheese is just it's one of those that like I can put out on any table for any gathering, even if I don't know who's coming. And within a couple hours, it'll be totally gone, even if I put out like a pound, you know? It's just kind of like a go-to. And people love it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I love
hope
it.
And just
totally.
and I was so excited to hear that you were adding the Toma Provence to this month's box. I feel that a lot of times it's always like the truffle or the Toma or the original blue. And it's just so great when Toma Provence gets love because I feel like it's like the sleeper hit, right? And it even is for me. Like I forget about it. I'll be like, oh, I have Tomarashi. Oh, I have this. And then I'll be like, wait, Toma Provence. And then I get really excited and I feel like I re-fall in love with it like every 6 weeks.
That is interesting because it does seem like people go for, ooh, truffle. I'm gonna do truffle and
Hmm.
or spicy. They want to go like big,
Yeah.
big flavors. And to be honest, my personal feeling, truffle's hard to work with. And you got to get it balanced really nicely
Yeah.
with the cheese, and you guys do that. But it's a kind of I think it's a difficult thing to work with, but and even here in the Midwest, I had this conversation with another cheesemaker here in Minnesota that's like, why does we have a thing called Minnesota heat, which is this much,
Hmm.
and that's it. But everybody here buys the spiciest cheese they can find.
Oh yeah, like you go to a place and there's so much black pepper and a cacio e pepe, and people in Minnesota are like, "Whoa!" But then they're like, "Give me the ghost pepper," and you're like,
Right.
"That doesn't even like make sense." It is funny though. The one thing that I love about our herbs de Provence, which depending on depending on you, you either gonna love it or hate it, but we don't use lavender in our mix. So it's just rosemary, thyme, marjoram, savory, and basil. I'm not like the biggest fan of lavender in food. And it's actually kind of funny. I was doing ride-alongs once and I was showing it to a chef and he was from northern France. And he got very upset with me that we did not have lavender in it. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't really, truly didn't mean to offend, you know? And then like 5 stops later, there's another French chef. And I was like, please, sir, like do not yell at me. Like I really don't want to be yelled at. He was like, well, why would I yell at you? And I was like, well, we don't use lavender. And he was like, oh, I'm from the south of France. We don't use lavender in our herbs de Provence either. So now I always tell people that we do it the southern French way.
There you go. There you
Nice. You
go.
gotta pick a side in France sometimes, you know?
Yeah. I was like, I didn't
Who
know
who
like
know?
lavender in herbs de Provence was so controversial, like letting like not adding it, right? I was like, wow, he's taking this very personally. And it is not a personal thing. But I think one of the things too that I love about all of our tomas and mostly the flavored ones is our cheesemaker Cuba has like a really balanced palate. So nothing is a palate wrecker of ours. Like it's not going to overpower anything. It's not going to stick with you like the spice. You're not going to be chugging water or an hour later like still coughing. The truffle, I struggle also carry with truffle cheeses. I think it's because I worked in restaurants in the mid-aughts when truffle was on everything. Truffle oil was on everything. Um, so it's not the toma I gravitate towards the most, but like I'll melt it on pasta with people and I'm like, okay, this is one of like the only truffle cheeses I can do because it's balanced and it's not that oil based. So I just appreciate that because not that I'm like calling myself old in any way, but as I get older, my palate gets more balanced versus like I don't want the hoppiest, I don't want the spiciest, I don't want the sour, I want very even, delicate flavors.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, I had that was a story about the cheese grotto. I had a truffle cheese in there and two other cheeses. That truffle cheese, everything that came out of that cheese grotto tasted like truffle because it shared really well with the
Hmm.
other two cheeses that were in there. And I learned that lesson.
Yeah. It happens, right? Like it does. But Honestly, there's a cheese shop in Northern California that doesn't carry our Toma truffle. It's the only one of ours they don't carry. And we're always like, why? And they're like, it's not truffly enough.
Oh,
They're
Oh,
like, our customers have come in and been like, it's not truffly enough. So, it's like all relative, right? Like we all have different palates. So, but I'm sitting there being like, it is just perfect on that truffle.
no,
So,
it's really well balanced. It's not overly done. Like you were saying in the aughts, it was like truffle everything, and it became to that point where it just got to be too much overused, not special anymore. But it's when it's done really well, it's just a beautiful complement to the cheese for sure. And I bet it probably goes extremely well with any kind of meat and other things like that.
oh
Just
yeah.
really enhances the t flavor of the meat, or even on the potato, like you were saying, a little bit in the mushroom sauce to kind of melt, because all your tomas melt pretty well, don't they?
They do. They melt really well. I've been actually like making more like queso dips with like the tomarashi and more kind of fondue dips. This is great in a fondue if you have like the fresh spring veg. You could do a Toma Provence fondue with a little wine. Um, or even like I said, like you can do, I mean, that's the cool thing about fondue is like if you get away from the classic recipe, you can use kind of any liquid. So sometimes I do use like a beer instead. And then I'll just do kind of like a warm dip with like the fresh spring radishes and the sugar snap peas and things like that. So, and again,
Nice.
and like the herbs de Provence also really likes meat. Like you can, this, I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those that people, maybe it's because like we're also familiar with basil, thyme, marjoram, and savory, and we cook with it a lot, that when we're looking for a cheese, we want flavors that we don't necessarily cook with all the time. But
That's
there
right.
is something to be said for like a good old favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. This with a glass of Sangiovese is like dinner and a bite.
I'm gonna try that.
It's
I'm
just
gonna go get a bottle of Sangiovese.
yeah. We should have it now, but during the happy
I
hour.
can get some.
Next time. Next time.
Continue the happy hour after this.
Right.
I know. I've been like, we have some subscribers who opt out of flavored cheeses like in their boxes. And while I do relate, like I feel like I also came from I don't know. I feel like whenever you're like in the food industry or whatever, you like start to be, you like are initially a lot of times in cheese too. It's like purist, like no, the expression of the milk. But yeah, it is a thing. Like after I've been working in this industry for so long, it's like I've built up an appreciation for it. And I like, so any of the subscribers who aren't opting into flavored and you're feeling envious right now, just email info@cheesegrower.com. We can swap it out if
We'll
you
fix
want to
it.
try it in cheese.
Uh, you are also like, I have that conversation a lot
Yeah.
with like ex cheese people, like mongers or people in cheese, that like when you first start, you don't know anything. You're like, I'll try everything. And then there's this like peak of where you're ultra snobby. And you're like, oh, if it's not from a farm that only has 12 animals, that's like, I don't want it. And then like fast forward, I've been in cheese now, it's like 18 or 19 years. I'm like, let's just get back to my Midwest dip. Like, yeah, I'll take the port wine cheese spread. Absolutely. I'll take that ball that's like rolled in nuts. I don't care. Give me the flavored cheeses. Like, it is funny how it kind of like, give me the cold pack. I love it all. But I do think that there is that like wave, right? Where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm only gonna have this, and I'm only gonna have seasonal sheep's milk, and then you're like, oh my God, that's like four cheeses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Um,
$75 a pound, mind you.
but it's like all in good fun, and maybe this will inspire people to give it a shot again. And to be fair, I do think that I think with any cheese, there are a lot of flavored cheeses that go like incredibly heavy on the flavor. That maybe that is something someone's tried in the past or have been like you said, Carrie, like super like ghost pepper hot, where they're like, God, I don't want a cheese like that tastes like that. And then it kind of turns them off from other flavored cheeses.
Yeah.
Um, but if give it a try. And like I'll say, Jessica, I get your newsletter, so I see what's in your boxes. Like for anyone out there who is not trying the flavored cheese that are in the cheese grotto box, like trust that they're going to be the good ones, right? Like just trust. There's a
Yeah.
lot of thought that goes into it, and you're not going to get anything that's polarizing.
No, no. What I love about Point Reyes is you have almost every style of cheese that you produce. So when a person gets a box from you, they're going to be getting, a Toma, they're going to be getting a blue cheese. Quinta is new. It's just a large variety of styles of cheese from you guys. I think that's just really cool. Um,
It, it is, but it's like it's doable, right? I think
yeah,
at this point, so we just came out with the truffle brie last year, and now we have a brie.
okay.
Oh,
And
nice.
and I think that's like our ninth. I think I have like nine cheeses that I sell. And I'm like, that's manageable. Like it's manageable to make nine cheeses, right? Like or to sell nine cheeses. There's a couple styles we don't do like cheddar and things like that, but it's just not we like to stick to the Italian styles and those European styles. And the brie was honestly an accident when the wrong culture mix got in the quinta. It was a happy accident, kind of like Red Hawk was. So that's why we have brie now. So
Oh,
How about
um,
that?
and the rind actually is a little thicker, so it honestly reminds me more of like a robiola.
Okay.
Um,
okay.
so
I want to try this. I don't think I've had it yet.
there's ways. There's ways.
Yeah.
I can make that happen. Huh, interesting. How can I get that? Don't worry about it. Done and done. But no, it is nice. I mean, I was talking to someone on the phone yesterday and I was reminding them that it was American Cheese Month.
Mhm.
And they were very excited to be it was an introduction from my brother to someone that he worked with. And he was like, I just can't believe I'm talking to someone from Point Reyes. I feel like I need to like buy all the cheese things. I was like, you should buy one. I was like, because it's American Cheese Month. And I don't know if I did the math right, but I was like, you have 25 days left to celebrate. I was like, so you should be ordering a couple gift packs from American Artisan Cheesemakers every week and be having parties for all you and your friends to celebrate this incredible month.
That's a great,
100%.
that's a great
100%.
idea. Yeah. No, I
No,
know. I mean, it is, yeah, it's really, yeah, it's pretty incredible how many cheeses people can try. I mean, that's why we haven't even gotten into European cheeses at all in our subscription service for, the past 5 years because there's just that many and we're like not even, we've still barely scratched the surface. It's like people don't know that there's like thousands of cheeses that they could really explore, and I feel like yeah, there's always another small maker down the road too that I discover that I haven't actually tasted yet. So it's like it's pretty amazing people's ambition to make like specialty and artisan cheeses in this country when it's like there's not really like the proper infrastructure even to support it like completely.
Totally. And like it's
Yeah.
relatively new, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like the where we've come in I mean even if you look at like ACS where it was like created to help American artisan cheesemakers and American cheesemakers, ACS just turned 40 it'll be 43 this year. So if you think about only like 43 years where people have been like collectively sharing this knowledge to help each other, right? Or you think of like the ladies of the 80s who that were around at that time, like we're young compared to French cheese making.
very much,
Yeah.
very much so.
So the fact that we have so many great American artisan cheeses to choose from, um, so much has been accomplished
Mhm.
in such a short time that it is a reason to celebrate.
Yeah. No, for
Totally.
sure.
Mike and I were working on a trivia question for an event we have tomorrow, and we had this group we give used up all of our common trivia questions, so we are looking for a new one. And the top producers of cheese in the world was an interesting U.S. in tonnage, metric tons. U.S., Germany, France, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's its own.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's its own country when it comes to cheese.
God is.
Yeah.
When it comes to cheese, Wisconsin deserves its own.
Wisconsin's its own country for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, yeah, and I love it. I love it too. No, that's funny. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and it's awesome. I don't think I realized you only used American cheese, Jessica. That's incredible.
Oh, me too.
Um,
Yeah.
that opening a European cheeses would be opening a whole can of worms. That you'd have to have like 5 boxes a month.
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
You're like, we'd rather not. We're sticking to American. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it felt right, We make the cheese grottos here, and
Yeah.
it's just like nice to have like a focus on like, what's going on in our backyard. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, just supporting I mean, the fact that I just feel like so many of the cheeses are winning and being like internationally being acknowledged, have a certain quality level to them that is really impressive. And I think there does have to be some considerable effort to kind of, educate people about like how incredible they are, because I think there's still kind of this like idea of what that American cheese is only like X, Y, and Z types. Which like, there's some classics there for sure, but also like it's yeah, it's like it's become a full new definition. Like even when I've gone and traveled to Europe or France, and I'm trying cheeses, I think back on what we're doing in the States while I'm trying these cheeses, and I'm like, you know what? Like I think that like a lot of these are quite comparable in terms of quality. Like, and that's like pretty like maybe taboo to say, but it does feel that way, like in terms of like the quality of what we have here and what we have access to. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean, maybe it's I don't know if it's taboo. I think our cheesemakers work incredibly hard because they know that they're going up against that. They also know that they're going up against as you kind of brought up, we don't really have the infrastructure or the subsidies that other countries get.
Right.
So like someone like Veronica, who makes incredible cheese, who like us being next to like Blakesville and Tulip Tree and this, I was like, hell yeah, all great cheesemakers. But someone like Veronica, who is selling this sheep smoked cheese, which, compared to like a commodity manchego, but though it's from Spain, hers is going to be a lot more expensive. But when you try it, like Veronica's an incredible cheesemaker. She's been an incredible cheesemaker since I had Maplewood, right? In the Hudson Valley. Like she's always been really great. And so, you know, I think our cheesemakers like also know they have to prove it to be like at a retail, I have to show that like spending the extra $10 per pound on my cheese is worth it. And I
Mhm.
think we do. I think they rise to the occasion, like time after time after time. So,
No,
I mean,
definitely.
yeah.
It's really impressive for sure. It's really impressive.
Well, absolutely. And Jessica works really hard to find makers that are small,
Yeah.
that our customers aren't going to find in the grocery store or even in a specialty cheese shop sometimes. And try and just feature them as so that's kind of hard to dig out. That's a big drive of Jessica's, as well as creating some unique cheeses, custom. What am I trying to say? Uh,
Like limited run.
Exclusive to us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like yeah. That's cool that you do that.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. I think I mean, usually it'll be, actually, we did it one with an Herbs de Provence, with Redhead Creamery. Yeah. It was like
Oh,
the little Lucy Brie, and then she infused it with Herbs de Provence. And yeah, we did that for one holiday.
Little Lucy's so good.
We had one customer that just was like very, very doubtful because she, loved French cheeses. So she was very doubtful of this herbs de Provence, Little Lucy. And she went on to extol the virtues of it. She just fell in love with it. Thought
Yeah.
it was fantastic. So,
I mean, we can go on par. I mean,
mhm.
now, I mean, unfortunately, they're no longer making cheese, but man, when Alamar was making Bent River,
Oh my gosh.
That was on par with French camemberts. I was like, get out of town. Do not tell me this is not as good, if not better,
Yeah.
right? So,
I was just looking back at some photos and had done a beautiful table and Bent River. Gosh, I miss it so much.
well, the one thing that I do think about the artisan cheese is, and I think about this a lot with like cut and order cheese shops as well. I feel like every time one closes, a couple open,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel like every time a cheese place closes, whether it's for like retirement, because people should be able to retire, right?
Yes.
For retirement or whatever reasons that they have to.
Yes.
There is a young person who is really into science and microbiology and really loves artisan cheese, and they're like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna open a place and start making cheese. So it's kind of like I feel like for every kind of closure, there's this new wave of people who want to keep American artisan cheese thriving, and it's very beautiful, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
totally.
for sure, for sure. Well, yeah, thank you so much for joining
Oh yeah,
today.
thank you so
And
much. I know you
yeah,
have other cheeses to talk about.
yeah,
So I will let you go, but enjoy the Blakesville and the Tulip Tree. They're both incredible. And I'm pretty sure, are these all women-owned companies?
I believe they are.
Yeah,
Tulip
they
I
Tree.
are.
believe they
I
are.
like completely was not even trying to do that, but this is to show you that we have a pretty decent amount of woman-owned
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
companies. Yeah,
yeah.
like in terms of specialty and artisan cheeses, just to choose from, which is amazing. Which
Yeah.
also is great for Mother's Day. So it's like
Right.
a
It's like
woman-powered
the perfect Mother's Day
buy.
board.
Yeah.
Honestly, like all of these cheeses are awesome for brunch.
Yes.
And you're it's like it's celebrating women. Like we're all celebrating our mothers. So, great board. Great board. But I'll let you get to the others. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you, Erin.
And if you all need anything else, let me know. And just happy Mother's Day to those who celebrate, and to those who don't, happy Auntie's Day or Aunt's Day or whatever you celebrate.
Significant other
But
person.
other yes. So
Happy
just
Cheesemaker Day.
yeah, happy Cheesemaker Day. Happy American Artisan Cheese Month
There
for
we
those who
are.
Yeah.
celebrate, which I hope is everyone on this call. Um, all right. Well, thank you so much and have a great Friday, and I'll see y'all later.
You
Thank
as
you.
well,
Great
Erin.
to
Thank
see
you so much.
you.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye. Always a pleasure.
Yes, definitely. I'm excited to find out about new cheeses. It seems like there's always something happening. And you kind of I don't know about well, you're on the coast or on the East Coast, but in the middle of the United States like I am, we don't get word here quite as quickly on new things
Yeah.
like that. So I feel like I'm just catching up to Quinta, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
now
don't
she
get as
says there's
much.
a brie.
No, I'm excited. I mean, I feel like every year, it's important for cheesemakers. They always release one thing usually. That's kind of like a new thing to highlight. But I am curious to learn more about this accident brie
Yes.
at some point. But yeah, let's take out the other cheeses.
Yep. I was just
Yeah.
going through the pickled asparagus,
Oh yes,
cleaned and
excellent.
freshly marinated with rosemary and oregano. So we have flavors that complement the Toma Provence big time in
Yay.
there. And
And
then
asparagus
granola.
for spring.
Yes, absolutely. This little granola. This is a very, very fine granola. This would be really, I mean, I would sprinkle this like on ice cream, yogurt, etc. It's really kind of pretty, sprinkled like that.
Yeah.
So you want to start with the Blakesville?
Yeah, let's do it. So Aaron was talking about Veronica. Veronica is the cheesemaker for Blakesville Creamery, which is based in Wisconsin. It's one of the few companies in Wisconsin that's making like this re actually, I mean, like they're so unique for Wisconsin
Here they
cheese.
are.
Like they make all these incredible, like kind of delicate rinded, soft ripened goat's milk cheeses. And they also make sheep milk cheese and yeah, they're just like very unique cheeses that if you are in Wisconsin and you want to diversify a little bit of your tasting experience outside of, more of the classic fare, this is like a great place to explore. But
And
I
Port
love
Wa-
this cheese.
I mean, there's a aerial shot of the farm, and they're in Port Washington. So there's the farm, and then there's Lake Michigan.
That's so nice.
How idyllic could that be?
I know. So idyllic. They're focused on, sustainable farming as well, animal welfare for their goats. But they're, yeah, like, and I just love this kind of like more kind of, French inspired like format styles as well. This one I really love because it's grape leaves that have been soaked in white wine, and it has this like it's a fresh sheep milk cheese, which in general, not easy to find
No,
fresh sheep milk cheese like anywhere.
no.
Um, and so this one is just incredible because it's got like the fresh, bright lactic qualities of sheep milk cheese. Sheep's milk is super high in butter fat, so it has this really nice, luscious mouthfeel to it. But then there's this like briny tang that's also infused with the like fermented wine that it's infused with, and it's just like such an amazing cheese for definitely if you're going the white wine route for this board. You could pair it, yeah, with like a Sancerre, like what Aaron was mentioning for the Toma Provence. It's just yeah, Sauvignon Blanc would be really lovely with it too. And it's really gorgeous, just like display wise. It's very dramatic. It also is really incredible for brunch and breakfast. Like I put some of it in like an omelet that I made, and it was just like it brightened up the whole thing and was just like really wonderful depth of flavor. So it's like you can definitely kind of similarly to the Toma Provence where you can go two ways with it.
And my cat thinks it smells great.
Cat approved.
I saw it cut a couple different ways, so that's or prepared a couple different ways. Wide open with the leaves, but then also cut down through with wedges so that each piece gets is wrapped in grape leaves. So I thought I'd try both. I
Oh,
haven't.
I love that. Yeah. I know because the leaves themselves are so beautiful and
Mhm.
like add so much flavor that it's like almost a shame to not like fully enjoy them alongside.
I was surprised when I got a smell from it, because of the Muscat wine that's soaked in. I figured I'd smell a lot more sweetness. I smell maybe it's the asparagus kind of wafting over, a lot more vegetal.
Yeah. It is. It is. It's not super sweet, I find. Yeah, it's like more, there's like more of that kind of like fermented grape thing going on, like that's infused into the cheese itself, but it's not like an overly sweet infusion that happens like through this wrapping of the cheese. But this is like a really awesome, like just classic way to preserve fresh cheeses too.
Mhm.
We have an old recipe on our blog that I'll have to find that is basically this, where it's you make fresh goat cheese and then you wrap it in leaves that have been blanched. Uh, I did not use grape leaves in this recipe. It was like
With cabbage, wasn't it?
cabbage and kale is
Okay.
what I had. And then I soaked those in wine and then wrapped the goat cheese in it and just allowed it to infuse over a few days. And you have like your own decadent, you know, uh, artisan made cheese at home. You could do it all from scratch, really. That'd be a project, but if you're into it, let me know because I got recipes. Otherwise, buy Blakesville Creamery, Pecuri and Vigne. Uh, but The sheep's milk is really unique. Like it's just like you gotta savor this. Is how I
Yeah.
feel.
And it is really, really a fresh cheese. And so I was looking at the date, um, best by 7/24. And that's kind of a long time for a fresh lactic set cheese, isn't it? Are the grape leaves really imparting a preserving it better for a longer period of time?
Yeah, I mean, definitely that helps with the preservation because you have this like fermentation that's going on from being wrapped in this wine soaked leaves, but also, yeah, just the that combination with the way that it's stored and the packaging just like allows it to like essentially just like continue to like ripen in that packaging and infuse together for a decent amount of time for sure. But it's still very much fresh, like doesn't have an age on it like when it was produced and assembled. So it's kind of genius in that way because when something can be held and like continue to develop while in its
Yeah.
packaging, it's fun. Like that's not always the case, right? Like most of the time it's like when you get a vacuum sealed piece of cheese, like a wedge, for example, you're not really getting that same experience.
No, that's kind of one and done. I mean, this took some research.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, so lovely cheese. You can go definitely it's really lovely with the asparagus. I also paired it, because it has a bright tanginess, you can also go with the lemon curd that's included with the pairings, and that's like a more, sweet direction. Um, I've sprinkled a little bit of the granola on there too. It is definitely like a more delicate granola, but I never really did granola pairings for like a cheese before, but it does add like a it's kind of like an alternative to nuts, right? Like on a board in terms of like having some kind of crunch in there, but having, dried fruit and other types of like seeds included in there, just like it just adds like some more dimension to a pairing. So it's fun in that way too. But
Yeah, totally. It's I was just sometimes you go, what's for dinner? And you open up the fridge and see what jumps out, and all of a sudden you have a new favorite dinner because of what you have.
yeah,
Oh, these are
totally.
really thicker biscuits. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, those are awesome from Rustic Bakery. I love sesame too because it like adds this like nuttiness, the black and white sesame to the
Ooh,
biscuit, which is really nice.
they smell very buttery, like shortbread.
Oh yes, yeah, it is similar to shortbread for sure. Um, but yeah, I wanted to say if you are going to be doing this for brunch, I mean the granola has multiple uses in that regard. So if you were going to be like, hey, this is the Mother's Day brunch, we're gonna have a little cheese board and then have like, some granola and I actually used it also as a topper for oatmeal, and that was like really lovely too. It like added
Mm,
this like crunch to the top of an oatmeal bowl, with some like I put some like frozen blueberries in there too, which is like really good.
yum.
But yeah, so there's like definitely different ways you can take that. But I do love these biscuits. They're really
Mm.
tasty.
Oh my goodness, Mike is gonna love those. He loves a buttery shortbread.
Yeah. Always that balance, trying to get that sweet and savory balance so you can go both directions, with the pairings in the box if you'd like. But yeah, so and then we got our third and final cheese here from Tulip Tree Creamery. And this one is like a more semi-firm Gouda style. I would say this is like usually in the kit, we try to have like one cheese that's like literally everybody on the planet will be snacking on. This is the one. Still artisan, still really great quality from a small maker in Indianapolis, but it's they make a variety of different styles of cheeses as well and bloomy rinds. They have like slightly bigger format, like soft ripened and like brie styles. But this is like a really great, just like approachable young Gouda that very is very flexible in its pairings as well. So,
No, I've had it out at room temperature for probably an hour and a half in the grotto.
oh,
And
nice.
yes, I store my cheese in the grotto unwrapped, but I wanted to show the labels tonight, so I left them wrapped. Um, and it is a gorgeous texture. Yeah, this is going to be a people pleaser, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now it looks, yeah, you can see the basket marks.
Yeah, they have yeah, a lot of their aged cheeses are made in those in the basket weave form. But yeah, it has a really nice like silky texture to it for sure.
I'm actually going to tip the cheese, and that's mine.
Yeah, that's the tip. That is the tip
Yeah,
right there. When
it's
you're
my
cleaning it
prerogative.
up. Yeah.
Mm, yeah, this is going to be a people pleaser for sure. Very easy to put with things, I think,
Yeah.
Nice combination with the herbs de Provence, which has got some bold flavors, and the sheep's milk, which is delicate but really unique.
Yeah.
I think, with the sheep's milk, you have to enjoy it alone first, for sure.
Mhm.
So you can really gather the taste there. And then I think a little bit of that on one of these biscuits with some lemon curd and some granola. That would be delicious. I'm having a hard time digging into that because it is so pretty.
I know. I know. You gotta take photos before everybody ha is mandatory. Everybody has to take a photo. Um, because it's like a Renaissance painting basically in a cheese.
It is.
Yeah.
I think I'm curious about the timing. I really loved, we talked about how this is until July, end of July. So it's been it'll continue to age in here, continue to work in here. But those grape leaves certainly weren't picked this spring.
Yes, yeah.
So how have they been kept? And or has it been formed and wrapped since last fall? That wouldn't be possible, would
No,
it?
I don't think so. I think they likely have a source or like have already pre-brined or
Okay.
blanched uh like leaves that then they're are just like held in storage basically until they create this cheese. Yeah.
Gotcha. So no one's out there in the vineyard picking grape leaves.
Well, in the fall maybe, but yeah.
Yeah. I uh I do have a friend that pickles, and she was wondering if I had grape leaves. She puts a grape leaf in her pickle jar when she cans them.
Oh, what does that do?
I don't know, but maybe
Just
there's something there.
oh, so something that helps with the fermenting.
Right.
Yeah, that is interesting.
There's my next Google session. Next
Yes.
rabbit hole.
Done. 1 hour gone from my life.
Right.
Yeah.
Only an hour. How about that? This lemon curd is very, very nice.
Yeah, it's just I feel like it's just always a good like spring vibe to it. The brightness and the lemoniness, which works great with like so many cheeses and
And it is a true lemon curd. I mean, it's not like gelatinized. It's a curd with butter and eggs, sugar. It's very
yeah.
basic, very simple ingredients, and a true lemon curd. That's why it tastes so good. Sometimes you can taste those fillers and stabilizers and other
Yeah.
curds, and this one's very true.
Yeah, it definitely like has a more natural like texture to it for sure.
Mhm.
Feels like much more homemade in that way.
Yeah, someone's grandma made it.
Yes.
Especially this on top of the shortbread. That's gonna be a lemon bar.
Yeah, yum. Yeah, so you got breakfast, you could have lunch, you could have dessert, you could have dinner. You could have different courses of through the cheese box,
Yeah,
basically.
why move off the patio on Mother's Day? Just roll the cooler out with all the Prosecco and just
Yeah,
keep grazing.
very, very chill.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So maybe let's see. I'm gonna spotlight the board.
Okay.
Let's see.
And I forgot to pick some chives, but that's how I would finish it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, with a little why is it not
Do I need to go single camera?
there?
You got it? Okay.
Voila. They call it pinned. That you pin it now, basically.
Got it.
But that is super lovely.
Yeah, ready to dig in. I have to get photos and then Mike gets licensed to fair game.
Yes, you always got to get the photos first before everyone destroys it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, honestly, like our talk with Aaron has also made me start to think about like for the rest of the month that we really need to be, you know how they do like the 12 days of Cheesemas?
hmm
We should just be doing that, but not 12 days and every day for May. Like, what's the featured cheese of today? But yeah, so we should definitely we'll follow up. Just keep an eye out in the newsletter and on the website for different cheeses that we're gonna to showcase. And
Yeah, throughout the month of May.
yeah, because as I was mentioning, what we have is only if you haven't tried what we have yet, that is only scratching the surface of what there is. Which is why we made this subscription service to begin with, because it's just like uh yeah, it really is endless. And it's I don't know, it's nice every month to be able to experience something a little bit different that you might not be able to find, and be supporting makers in this country as well that are doing something really hard and delicious at the same time. So
And you also kind of get the scoop, when we have someone like Aaron on. Oh, guess what? We have a brie coming out.
yeah, nobody else knows that except for
Knows
you, the people watching this video, and maybe a few other industry people, but that's it.
that.
You're essentially in the cheese industry now. So
Yeah, right. There's industry card. There you go.
yeah. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll hopefully, next month, my dog is barking. Um, Next month we will hopefully see you on the Zoom, or if not, I hope you enjoy the recording. And we will definitely see you again in June. Our box in June is going to be focused on
Oh, yeah.
Father's Day. Yeah. So yeah, we have the box is going, if you buy a gift subscription, the first box will ship the week of Father's Day, similar to how this Mother's Day box delivered. There's going to be some focus on some cocktail ingredients and grilling, which like maybe is a stereotype, but hey, who doesn't like to grill?
Who doesn't like fire?
Yeah, I like fire. Oh, I like being up. And whenever you can just get a break and go outside and drink a nice cocktail with some of the stuff we'll have in the kit, and
Yeah,
grill some
fire and
tasty cheese.
cocktails. It really works well together. Fire
Oh
and
yeah,
cocktails.
just don't get the alcohol too close
Right.
to the fire, but you got the cheese to put in between you and
Right.
the fire and the cocktail. But yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. Maybe we should try, I don't know. Are you able, I wonder if the weather will cooperate for you
We'll
guys.
see. Yeah, I've done some grilling um, for other events, virtual events and stuff, and I have yet to remember where it was successful, but we could give it a shot.
Ooh, I like bloopers. Uh,
I thought you turned it on. No, I did.
yeah, it's hard to time everything, that's for sure. But maybe if we can show, because there's gonna be like a bread cheese in there, which will be fun to grill. And then a few other cheeses, which will be fun to like melt and cook with. Or again, as we always say, you can go either way, you know? You can
Yeah.
kind of board with it and just enjoy it that way, or you can go crazy on the grill.
I can showcase all the mistakes you could possibly make.
Yeah. The cheese falling through the grates. No.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there it went.
But yeah. Oh, do you have like one of those little raclette makers?
I do.
Okay, that might be like a safe in between,
It
right?
might be, yeah.
Yeah, we could do something with that where we melt some and
On
drizzle it.
the thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Or cast iron pan also works really well.
Oh yeah, that could be great too. That would be awesome. So yeah,
Nice bourbon, yeah.
we have a little bit over a month to figure this out for
Yeah.
all of you. I think we will figure it out. But yeah, appreciate everyone who watches these videos and hope you have a great rest of your May and we'll see you in June.
All right. Night.